So, good day to everyone. My name is Asma Othman A. Mahalawi, and I am a grade 12 STEM student from Altaj International School. So, this is my final project for our subject in DRRR. And as you can see here, I am making a speed paint about my fun interpretation of what DRR is and what it can do. So, we were provided by our advisor some questions on how we can answer our project. The first question is, what did I learn from our lesson on DRR class? So actually, I've been studying this subject since the beginning of the second semester this school year, 2020-2021, and I learned about technical terms that are used within the subject. And the subject is DRRR, that has 3 R's, and this acronym means Disaster, Readiness, and Risk Reduction. So we learned about terms such as disaster, risk, exposure, vulnerability, and the different kinds of vulnerability, and of course, many more. We also learned about the kinds of disasters, like man-made disasters or natural disasters, as well as their grave consequences to the people and the environment. We also learned about the biggest disasters that are very noted in history, such as the Doña Paz and the 9/11. Other than that, we learned about the causes of these disasters, like man-made faults, such as ignorance, and how it can lead to major consequences. Lastly, we were taught that specific conditions of the people, land, water, and air can serve as a catalyst and fuel to prolong an ongoing disaster. An example of this was Typhoon Haiyan or Bagyong Yolanda. The second question is, how was the experience, the lessons, and the discussions? In my opinion, we had a great and fruitful experience thanks to Sir Dom, or Mr. Arnold Dominic Kai, who willingly and passionately taught us the wonders of this subject. He has so many great stories to share that connected history with the occurrence of disasters. After hearing the stories, it has enlightened me so much and filled in the details of these catastrophic events. Knowing the causes and consequences of the disasters gave us an idea on possible solutions that we can offer. I would just like to thank Sir Dom for spicing up our discussions on DRRR with tales of the past with such vivid detail that you would feel like you were actually there, witnessing the event unfold before your very eyes. To be honest po, Sir Dom, you have a lot of amazing stories to tell. And for a long time, me and my classmates have thought that it would be great for you if you produced podcasts about the great and rich history our world had before today, and many other stories. Third is, what are the expectations you have about the subject? At first, I expected this subject to be very technical and straightforward about solutions to the problems our society experiences every day. But that perception about this subject sounded really flat and monotonous. But in reality, it was very full and rich in detail about the whole disaster scenario. And once you see all of the details in a chronological order, it all makes sense. And lastly, our last question is, was the knowledge that you acquired useful? For me, yes. It really enlightened me on the problems that our country, the Philippines, constantly experience, and it educated me on some of the solutions that can be provided to prevent or avoid, contain, and decrease or solve the occurring disasters. So that is all for my answers towards the guide questions we were provided. I would just like again to thank Sir Dom for being our teacher in CPAR or PhilArts and DRR for this school year 2020 to 2021. Thank you po for giving us fruitful knowledge with everything that you've taught us. You have not only shared us about the information on this subject, but also the great stories on the most notable events throughout history. You have outdone yourself po, and I'm very blessed and grateful to have learned this subject as your student po. Thank you sa lahat. And thank you for everything you have imparted to us, the grade 12 Omega students. I hope to see you again po in the near future. Thank you po, Sir Don, and may God bless you po.